It's no secret that I focus more on retro gaming on this show. Ignore the fact that I've made 3 videos on Stranger of Paradise and have a 4th in the works. The first one was kind of a meme, and then the others, well, I couldn't chicken out at that point. But as a general rule, I do try to avoid a lot of modern and retro revival titles. If I want to play a game like Golden Sun, then I can just play Golden Sun. But today is a different story. Back in September 2019, I had the chance to play the Zelda Link's Awakening remake, and one of the things that I really liked about that, besides the art style, I mean, can we just talk for a second about how cute those moblins are? I just want to grab their faces, squish them, and just pinch their chubby little cheeks! Was the chamber dungeon system. Being able to build a dungeon by placing tiles on a grid was a stroke of genius that didn't take away from the overall experience. But at that point in the year, we'd already had Mario Maker 2, and you could build entire levels with that. Unfortunately, the chamber dungeon's biggest holdup was that they were just pre-designed chunks that you could put in any order that made sense. It was good, but it could have been better. Enter Super Dungeon Maker, a pixel art dungeon editor inspired by the top-down styles of classic Zelda. Super Dungeon Maker brings the best aspects of designing in Mario Maker together with the idea of the chamber dungeons and combines them into one fantastic concept, and that's no yoke. And your hero through this literal world-building endeavor? Groose, but a rooster. Grooster. Meet Finn, our impeccable hero. Finn is no chicken when it comes to adventure and is the only rooster in town with the experience designing and delving into dungeons. Equipped with his trusty sword and a dodge roll that would make even Sora jealous, Finn dives right into adventure and seeks the golden eggs hidden at the end of each dungeon. So Rockplay, the team behind Super Dungeon Maker, broke their marketing down into 4 points. So I thought it would be a good idea to kind of mimic that and break down my early access experience with the game into 4 points as well. You launch the game and are immediately thrown into a dungeon, one of the 4 pre-made dungeons in your hometown. Each one of these dungeons introduces a new mechanic or a new item, and actually provides decent challenge in terms of rolling at the right time, balancing when to activate colored crystal switches, and other classic dungeon exploration tropes. They're also great at giving you ideas to bring into your own dungeon builds. One absolutely minor complaint that I have about the game is that the speed that enemies move can be a little bit stressful at times. There's this weird plant enemy that has a pitchfork and it will throw the pitchfork at you. And yeah, of course, sometimes you have a shield and you can block it or you can dodge roll. But have you met me? I'm not good at that. In terms of story, there are little bits of world building here and there from the locals, but the main focus is definitely the dungeon editor. My favorite thing was overhearing some kid talk about using 7 mystical dragon eggs to summon Henlong the dragon. It might be nothing, but I can sense a nugget of truth there. So as I said earlier, Super Dungeon Maker brings the best aspects of the Mario Maker level editor and combines them with the theme and the concept behind the Link's Awakening chamber dungeons. And it does them in such a brilliant way. With the 2 of these parts together, you have complete control over the size, layout, number of rooms, enemies, chests, and traps that make up your dungeon. My personal favorite theme was a sort of medieval theme, since it adds bookcases and suits of armor that you can place and interact with. There's also a forest theme, a desert theme, and a snow theme, but thank God there's no water dungeon theme. Yet. I'm overall relatively new to the genre of level editing games. The only experience I think I ever had was like 2 minutes in Super RPG Maker, one of the earlier versions, as well as a level editor for ROM hacks of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. And some of the earliest levels I made were just rotten eggs. But as bad as my builds were, the simple fact is the editor is so incredibly easy to pick up and understand the basics of, making the design aspect an enjoyable experience. For a bit of insight, I spent over 10 hours in the game, with 9.5 of those hours spent in the dungeon editor, trying to understand the different timers, triggers, and how everything interacts. Thankfully for me, I have a super talented and creative friend who built a dungeon for me to torture myself with, but more on that later. I did try out a few other dungeons that had been designed by the devs and the community, and holy wow, there's a ton of creativity out there. Heck, if you've designed a dungeon of your own, leave it in the comments. I'd love to take a look at some of the community's creations. One final thought, I absolutely recommend using the keyboard and mouse layout when designing your dungeons. The game does handle really well with the gamepad and the joystick when you're exploring and doing combat, but designing requires just a little bit more finessing, and I think keyboard and mouse really does well with that. It also makes me wonder if there's going to be touchscreen control for when the game comes to the Switch, because it would feel so organic to just be able to drag your finger around on your Switch and design the layout of the dungeon. Gaming on the go has always been very near and dear to my heart, but have you ever sat down and thought to yourself, man, I love some of these dungeons that I've been pulling from other games. I just wish I could access them when I'm traveling and on vacation. Well, you're in luck. One of the coolest features of Super Dungeon Maker is the ability to download and save custom maps from other creators and developers to your PC and Switch. But besides that, you can actually take them on the go and access them at any time, no internet required. This is an absolutely insane addition to an already fun game. This means you can bring your Switch or Steam Deck with you when you fly the coop and play your downloaded content anytime, anywhere. This feature is arguably my favorite part of the Nintendo Switch in general, so having a game where that's already integrated, totally worth it. Alright, so this part of the video I am naming the Noob Challenge because we have a wonderful map here that I'm going to be playing today called Flooded Bastion that was designed specifically for this video by my good friend, Noob. Links to all his content are going to be in the description below. Probably his Twitch channel because that's where he's like super freaking active. For centuries, Henrule's loyal clucks have collected artifacts and kept the riches for themselves. However, no one has heard from them in a while. His notes that he gave me, I dare you to beat it without continues. Death equals restart it all. I guess, yeah, let's get into this and give my commentary and reactions as we go. Shield, thank God. Okay. Ooh, grappling hook? Oh no. Oh my God. Oh, that's so mean and so cool at the same time. I love it. All right. Oh. It always feels like I did something wrong when I hear that trigger go off, but I know it's just a trigger. That's smart. Noob has his understanding of the triggery system and the timers down pat, it looks like. I think the worst part is now all 4 of these homing boys are shooting. Because you're dodging, what, 4 projectiles from statues and 4 projectiles from mobs, and that's ridiculous. Pain. Oh, wait. Oh my God, that's so brilliant. You madman. I just went and explored the entire dungeon, and I see now where the exit is. And it's not even done yet. We're not even... That's amazing. This was great. Oh... That was great, man. Thanks so much. So, does Super Dungeon Maker carve out a space for it to stand on its own against its brother-in-arms of the same genre? Absolutely. For a game that boasts unlimited creativity, Super Dungeon Maker truly doesn't disappoint. I am in awe at how creative some of these levels are in their design, but I also love the more simply designed levels that take me back to my younger days playing A Link to the Past and stumbling across those small, hidden mini-dungeons. You know the ones. 2 or 3 rooms, beat the enemies to open a door, get a chest with a small reward in it. It's that combo of simplicity and creative potential that makes me glad that Super Dungeon Maker was my first real go in level design. And heck, who knows, maybe I'll design a couple levels based off of Stranger of Paradise, because I have not had enough of that chaos in my life. So thanks, Super Dungeon Maker. You're one good egg. So I want to give a quick thank you to Rockaplay for providing me with the early access key, making this video possible, and Noob, a frequent collaborator and good friend of mine. Check out his Twitch channel, link in the description below. He does speedruns, he does challenges, he does a lot of charity work, and he streams so much. So give him a follow, tell him Chocobo sent you. Additionally, go ahead and, if you wouldn't mind, follow me on Twitter to see updates of when videos are going to be coming out. And I stream every so often on Twitch. Sometimes I stream the games that I'm going to be turning into videos, twitch.tv/chocobos. Hey Soba, you're named after a noodle.